Hi and welcome to today's video where I have made beauty purchases in terms of makeup for January. So I'm filming this on the first day of February, so I thought, well, I need to get this sort of sorted out so I can progress a bit further in other videos that I need to do. So I've got a couple of things, one of which I've actually shown previously. And I've got a couple of these Z-type magnetic palettes. I think it was the end of October or early November, I'm not sure. And I did show them in one haul video and I only showed one of them because I keep forgetting because I put this separate. This is a large version of the Zao palettes. This is the one that I've shown a few times to camera, and either because of it or because of the contents, because I do put some items that I want to finish and one's in my project pan. So this is classed, although it's small, as the medium. The small one is about that big, about half the size again. And this, I think, is the large. I don't think it's the XL. It may be, but I don't think, because they're not numbered. So this one would hold either 4 large square palettes, a round one, and perhaps some eyeshadows. But it gives a bit of flexibility. I've not used this one yet. So these are made from bamboo wood or bamboo grass, and compressed together, and it's got a satin finish with no varnish. So there's no plastic in them, there's just some tiny magnets and the mirror, so it's one that you can use for years and years. So I'm pleased about having those two. I'll leave the links of the shop, which is Gizmo and Cosmo, which is a UK small shop online, and I'll put the name in anyway in the description below. So the other items, there's been a number that I've wanted to try for a long time and not had the reason, and what often I just think, oh well, it's going to be around, I'll pick it up sometime, whenever, never. But some were brought sharply to my attention because they are being discontinued. So the first item that I wanted to pick up was by Victoria Beckham, and it was a smoky eye brick, which is a range of her eyeshadow palettes. She had several of them. I got the signature, which is the Victoria Beckham, her own signature one, and it's a matte. Now, what I did like about that, what did draw my attention to it, and I did see it in store before I bought it online, is it's a very heavy compact. Heavy metal. It's got a tortoiseshell effect, which is like a plastic tortoiseshell. It has a spring opening, and inside is the eyeshadows. So these are all mattes. Now like I said, they're different palettes, and I'd heard in November these were being discontinued, and then towards the end of December, Victoria Beckham Beauty sent an email out saying there was a 25% reduction because they're being discontinued. So that was finally confirmed. So I picked this up at the discount, and I realised after I'd purchased it, and it came in early January, but when I purchased it they had yet to announce the Pantone colour of 25, which is Mocha Mousse, and this is very much a Mocha Mousse sort of story. Now this is a taupe, but it's a taupe with a pink element to it, so it's a bit like what I would call a taupey mink colours. So that one is a true taupey mink. There's a darker wax shade there, a pale pink and a beige and buttermilk with a slight pink element to it. So these are all tonally compatible. The thing that put me off this is, one, is the price at £56 full price, but two, that these are one brick, and what I mean is they're set into one pan rather than individual pans smushed together. So I've had very poor experience with high-end brands who have done this in the past, where the colours have been mudded, even when you take them separately. So I've really been put off, but I thought I'd give it a try at a discount, and I've really been enjoying this. One, the colours are distinct. Two, they are described as a satin matte. Now I would say they are matte, but it's the way the formula is, in that it gives a very slightest of sheens, very, very slight, so it's not a flat matte. And it's not overly pigmented like, for example, the ABH Palettes mattes, which I'm not saying a negative thing. It can be great if you want to pack loads of colour on, but these need to be built up. So it gives a veil of colour, but it does sit on top of itself well and doesn't get patchy, and it blends like a dream. So these are the colours, really enjoying it. Now, they were available throughout a lot of January on the UK website. However, they're now no longer there. I'm not sure they sold out. They may have been, either they've been taken down temporarily, or it may be the stock has been shifted on to perhaps other retailers in the UK, which namely are Selfridges. There aren't many Selfridges stores throughout the kingdom, but there are some, and they did have the bricks in, so it could be they've been sent to them. The other places is Fenwick. Now, we don't have a Fenwick store in the northwest, but I think Fenwick online and presumably the stores have them. So, like I say, it is becoming difficult. I'm not sure what the situation is for anyone who's living outside of the United Kingdom, but yeah, they're no longer are currently not available on her website, and they are being discontinued. So I'm so pleased. The component is so heavy, and it's reminiscent of the compacts and the powder compacts of the 30s, 40s and 50s, which I used to collect. I don't have any at the moment, but this is a very good quality component. The mirror is good quality. Now, this was brought out before the bronzer brick, but the bronzer brick is refillable, and you can get the compact out with a pin and it pops out. These aren't, so I'm wondering either the compact's going to be similar and just refillable, perhaps with different tones and shades in, or whether she's going to release other palettes. I don't think she's going to do without the palettes. I think she's going to redo the palettes, so I'm not sure what form that will take, but it will be interesting to watch. But I have tried these and they are lovely, and I've got them on my eyes today as a light wash with a sparkly topper. Now, the next item was another one that I'd heard was discontinued, but unlike the Victoria Beckham, where it gradually tailed out, this one overnight. There was various YouTubers in the US saying that they were discontinued, and then, like I say, when I looked on the website, they'd been there the week before, then they were missing. So there aren't many retailers selling Tom Ford makeup. Selfridges do, I think, possibly Harrods or Harvey Nichols. There is a few high end that do, but they were sold out. I even went to some of the European sellers, and I did find some. They were very expensive, and then within a couple of hours they sold out. So I thought, well, this is it. I'm not going to be able to get it because resale on eBay is £200, £180, an awful lot of money. So anyway, they came back into stock in January in Sephora website, but Sephora are around £62 and they've been about £55 elsewhere. But elsewhere, unless you can go in store, you then have to pay for postage and packaging, so it takes it up to the similar amount. Now, I had a 10% discount, which I applied, and then I took off my credits that I had. So I was able to get this a little cheaper. So this is the compact. So it is actually called the Tom Ford Soleil Glow Bronzer. Now, I don't think it's glowing. It's a matte bronzer, and this is in 5 gram, which is the standard size. There was a larger size that was available, and that was discontinued some years ago. It had an awful lot of product. This only has 5 gram, which is comparable to a blush, rather than which you'd put targeted on the face, rather than bronzer, which you potentially could put all over. But this comes in a nice little pouch, white pouch. I do like the component. It's very sleek. The only negative is it's very, very light, where with Lux products, you'd expect them to have a bit of heft, a bit of weight. But I do like the design. So I'm not sure why they discontinued. It could be because these have been out quite a few years, and the one that was retained in the UK for the longest period was O2 Terra, which is as in Terra, as in Earth, and this is the more neutral leaning one, because the number 1 shade was darker, more orange, with a yellow tint, but it was a very, very warm bronzer, and it wasn't so popular. So it was the Terra that was mainly stocked. So if you can get it and you're interested, I would say act fast. In the US, they did discount them and sell them, and they weren't doing that in the UK at all. I think they had very limited numbers, like Sephora had 10, and the next time you look it had 5. So I picked it up as soon as I saw it come back in stock. So I'm not sure if it's still available, and I'm not sure if they'll keep restocking, but this is the component. So there's a good mirror, and this is the compact, which looks quite small, but it's 5 gram. Now I'm going to compare this compact. I always thought it was too warm when I tried them in Selfridges in Manchester in the past, over the years. But when I compare it, when I compare paired with a swatch outside and went in and swatched the Gucci, they were quite similar. So I'm going to show you the Gucci Fair, which is for fair skinned, and it is a pink tone bronzer, and I'll show you the Terror. Can you see they're very similar in tone? And like they may show a bit of grey cast, and that's because of the pink cool element. This has got a stronger pink note, and I'm not going to say it's a blue pink. It isn't. It's a warm pink, but it's a bronzer shade with an element of pink within it. The Gucci is more a softer powder. The Tom Ford is more harder compressed, but it's still fairly silky. But again, the formula is older, and I think so. Gucci, Tom Ford. This is coming across as being a bit as more neutral, but on my skin it pulls neutral to pink. So I'm going to really enjoy using the Tom Ford. It isn't swatching as well, but it is a newer product in that, although it was designed a long time ago, this will have been manufactured recently, so it will have a bit of quite a good shelf life on it. But if you're interested, look out for the Tom Ford. If you're going to wait for resale, they're going to be very expensive, because I've seen them up to £180 in that size on eBay in good condition, but you don't know how old they are, the compact is. Now, I suspect they are going to reformulate, and they are going to bring bronzers out again, a new line, I would suspect. One, because they are one of the original lines of Tom Ford's makeup, which has been going a long time now. Two, Tom Ford has left the company. The company was sold to Estee Lauder a number of years ago, and he was creative director and had a lot of say over the company that bears his name. But he stepped down fully to retire at the end of December. So, and just before then, there was rumours that things were going to be reformulated. So not everything is being reformulated, not every fragrance or anything like that, but some are being phased out, and it's just about keeping your eyes and ears. So if there's some formula in whatever makeup or perfume you like, just be sure, if you want to repurchase, that you do it now. I mean, you would pick it up again second hand, but I think it's better to try and buy it new if you could. So that is the Gucci Terror bronzer. Now, the next items I picked up was basically, I wanted to try something from this company. I do have an eyelash curler, which I haven't used, but it has had very, very good reviews. But I wanted to, when QVC had a sale in January, which is, I think, still on the 1st of February, and they had great offers on Surratt. Now, Surratt came, which is, I understand, a US brand that was heavily influenced by Japanese makeup. I think someone made in Japan, and they are high quality, high performance makeup. Now, but they're on the Japanese style, in that they're soft and they're gentle. So I did want to try, and they went to QVC a year, I'd say within a year, maybe 18 months. I'd say a year. And everything's discounted. They didn't have many lines, because Surratt doesn't have a lot of lines, but the lines they did have, they had a reduced amount at QVC, but they weren't heavily reduced by any means. So QVC often, when they get products, will reduce significantly over what the standard website sells. But in the UK, I'm not sure if you can buy through Surratt direct, but their prices were the same as Space NK. And Space NK you can walk into, and you can also return lightly used items if you don't like them. So there really wasn't the benefit of QVC stocking this, because they didn't have an edge over Space NK. So I mean, the only way is if they drop the prices, and they would need to by a third, something like that. But anyway, the items they've got are now all in the sale, so I think Surratt is being phased out, which is a pity, because I don't think it's that because they're a high price point that there aren't people who wouldn't buy at QVC. QVC can sell across all price ranges. I just think because it's readily available in Space NK, at least online. I mean, not everyone lives near a big city where you're going to find it. They're not everywhere. They're only in a few places, Space NK. But at least you can walk in, try it, etc. Without where with QVC, you buy the product, pay for postage. You don't like it, you send it back, pay for your postage, but then you'll get a refund on the cost of the item, not the postage. And that's how it is. So anyway, I bought two items. One is the eyebrow pen, which came in two parts in a box. So basically, this is the pen, and the pen has a spoolie at the end with a cap, and then this slots in. So this has all the amount of product in. You can't use it on its own. So if you buy this, you can't, and it won't work. You've got to have the pen because it works in the bottom. I don't know how there must be notches and it mechanically sits in. So this is a fine pen. I don't think it's as fine as precisely my Brow by Benefit, but it's on those lines. The difference is Benefit has a waxy part of the formula. This is more clay powdery. So when it's so fine point, you think it's going to be able to do feather brows. It isn't. It's feathered, but in a powdery sort of way. So it gives a soft powdered look rather than definition. So you're not going to be able to easily draw on and maintain individual brow hair look with this, but it's still nevertheless lovely. I quite like the shade. I will show it you. This is blonde. Now I don't think they had many left, but luckily they had the blonde. It's quite a dry pencil. There it is. So it's working well for me. Is it my favourite? No. The other thing I don't like about it, it doesn't have a lid. So basically it will dry out. So no wonder it's dry, but it's not so dry it's going to crumble. So it's one of these, I think once you buy these, you need to start and finish. So that's why I've already started using them, and they are in the front part of my brow at the moment. And I have on the outer skirts the Omar in blonde, which is a waxy sort of pomade. So the next item I got was one I was really looking to get, but they're around £32 and you only get 2 grams. So this is a lip sleek or lip clique, and it's by Nude Soleil. So there's very few shades available. It's quite an extensive range, but QVC have sold out of all but one, I think maybe 2 at the time I purchased this, and I wanted this one, which is a nude. Now with this, you do click up, but I don't think they click down again. So once you pop it up, you don't have to worry that the lid will smush it. It won't or crush it, because there is an air gap at the top of the lid. But basically it is like a gloss, a balmy gloss. And it's got, people say they really like the texture on the lips. I've yet to try it, but it has had good reviews. This was £9 plus about another £3 for postage and packaging. So these items came separately on 2 separate days. But I'm pleased to try them. I'm glad I have. So moving on, the next item I picked up, I purchased off eBay, and it was somebody who was breaking down an advent calendar, and it was, I think it must have been Space NK, because I think that was where I got this. And this is in my project pan, and it's the Rodial Champagne Glow 2ml. So it's 2 grams. It's a tiny amount, and that is worth £25 or £28. I think the 5 gram is 48, so you don't get much. So I bought a new one at £6.99 including postage, and that is the one I'm using. So I do have 2. So I was very pleased to get this. There was only one I could see available on one seller selling that, so I'm glad I have that as a backup. I do think it rather lovely. I've got it there. Now, can you see it's more dispersed there, and it's more of a shine there. So if you put more on, it goes a bit shiny, and then there it's a dispersed look. Utterly stunning, because it does give a realistic wet look, and it's not so tacky that hair would stick to it, because my hair certainly would. But I think it's lovely, but very, very expensive. So even for 5 gram, you know, it's very, very, very expensive product, and that's. So we'll see if I will buy more. The final item is by Makeup Revolution. It's Revolution Pro, which are a range that are made outside of China. So this is made in Taiwan, and other parts of the Pro range are made in Europe. So this is the CC Perfecting Foundation, which is a copy of the It Cosmetics CC cream. So I picked the darkest shade, which is F18. It's not described as such, but it is a cool colour in that it's got high levels of pink in. So though it's very, very dark, it will, when it is mixed in as a mixer, which is what I bought it for, it will turn bases pink and an ashen colour, if you will, which is fine for me. But if I have something that's too ashy and I want to put a bit of warmth in, this isn't the thing. But I'm glad to have it. That's it blended out. Now, as a CC cream, It's nowhere near as good, in my opinion, as the It Cosmetics CC cream. But it wasn't expensive. At full price, it was £10. I ended up getting this for £4, and it was about £7 or £8 with postage, and it came within 24 hours from their website direct. I'm very, very impressed. So I'm glad I have this, because this is going to be, like I say, a colour corrector to correct products as a tint, not to be put directly onto my skin. So they're all the items that I've purchased in January. Like I say, I've got on just the eyebrow and this and the Victoria Beckham eye brick. Now, I have actually got another lipstick on my lips. I could have thought to have used that, but I didn't. But anyway, I'm sure you'll forgive me for that. And I'm sorry I'm sounding a bit stuffy. I've had various infections from mid-December all the way through. So I thought, if I don't get this done, then it is hampering me doing other videos and moving forward. So, like I say, I'm glad I've got it finally done. But can I say thank you very much for watching, as I do appreciate that your time is valuable, and thank you very much for spending some of your time with me. Let me know your thoughts down below, because I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, hopefully I shall see you soon in another video. Please take care of yourselves, and bye for now.